Okay, I thought I would put together a quick video that demonstrates how I use Microsoft Excel and Golden Cheetah to compare data that's coming out of multiple power meters. So the first thing I do is I create a blank worksheet in Excel, and at the top I create a couple columns ahead of time. I'll be comparing three different power meters, and it'll be done by the number of seconds. So I'll be comparing a G3 hub, and I'll skip a column here, and I'll be comparing a PowerTap P1 hub, and lastly I'll be comparing a Power to Max hub, so I'll just call that a P2M. Okay, now what I'll want to do is I'll go into Golden Cheetah, which you can get at goldencheetah.org, and I'll want to import data. If I already have data in Golden Cheetah, I can just go up to the top and say import from file. And then I'll look for the fit file that I'm after. So first we'll import a PowerTap G3 hub data file. These were three different power meters that were all running concurrently and being recorded by three different head units. So I'll open that up, save it, and hit finish, and then I'll go here, select that data, and then I'll want to view that in a table, what they call an editor. And for the first one, I'll want to grab a bunch of columns, the power, distance. I'm going to get rid of distance. Well, actually, let's just get time first. That's the important thing. Hit copy, which I did with just Control C or copy. Then I'm going to go into Excel, grab here into the second row under seconds, and just paste in the number of seconds that are ticking by. And then I'll go into Power, Control C, do the same thing, go back over to my data over to Excel, copy it in, and then all of a sudden all of that, the power that's associated with each of those seconds is pasted in. Now I can get rid of this file, so I'll go back here and delete the activity. And I'll import another one. Let's take the P1 files. This is off of PowerTap P1 pedals that I've got also on my bike. Go back here, go back up to the editor. This time I don't need to worry about seconds because I already have those. Copy it. Okay, now I can just delete this. Delete. Go back to Excel since I already have it on my clipboard. Okay, you can already see that there's some differences here between the values. Okay, go back over here to get ready to import the last bit of data. Go back to Golden Cheetah. I'll do it the official way here. I will take an activity and import it from a file. This time I'm getting the Power to Max data. This is a Power to Max Type S crankset that I've got running on my bike. And, oh, don't want to delete it quite yet. And view, add chart, editor, and here's my power. Copy it, go back over to Excel, and paste it in. Okay, so now I want to leave a bit of room over here, leave a couple columns, and then I'm going to paste in a chart. And what I'm looking for is one of these, like either a scatter with smooth lines or a scatter with smooth lines and markers. Let's just do a scatter with smooth lines. And we get this little blank box. And then we have to go in here, right click on it, and say select data. And we want to create a new series down here. So I'll create, that's why I hit the plus key. And the names really don't make much difference because they won't show up on the chart anyways, but this is more just for our own convenience. We want the X values here to be the seconds, so we'll click on that heading of the column and you'll notice that this line up here changes, and then you just hit enter. And so now it fills in the data with that saying that we're taking our x values for this chart from the A column. Then we can do the same thing for our y values, except this time we'll take the B column because that's our G3 data. Hit enter again. And then if I hit OK right now, watch what happens. It'll automatically create a chart which shows the data. And we can resize that chart very conveniently by moving this around. Okay. So by resizing it, you can get a little bit clearer sense as to the data. Now from here, it's really easy to just select new data, create a new series. So say I want to say, we'll look at how the P1 compares. So what does that P1 look like compared to that G3? Are we getting similar data? The X values are the same, of course. They're the seconds. And go here for the Y values. This time I'll select the D column, enter, and hit OK. Give it a second. And you can see how the orange data, which is the P1, lines up pretty darn well with the G3 data. You'll notice that the G3 data, though, here had this little drop-off for some strange reason. So, anyways, of course, you could do the same thing with the P power to max data. Just do that just for completeness, because it will only take a second. Seconds, boom. Y values are the F column, and there we go. And that'll come out there, the gray data. Now that you can tell that the data is skipping around here a lot, especially towards the end where I was doing a couple hard sprints, but also towards the middle, where even though I'm doing a steady state effort throughout this section in the beginning, the nature of power meters is that the power is instantaneous power that's being measured, and it moves around a lot. We all know that's not particularly useful. So a different way in which we could do it is to smooth the data. And to smooth the data, you have to first ask yourself, well, what time interval do you want to smooth it to? And typically I like 30 seconds. So you go down to 30 seconds here, which is down here. Remember, the first column is the number of seconds. And I go into the third column, which I conveniently left blank, and I'll say equals, up on the formula line, average, and then open paren. And then I want to create a range here for all of these values from the second row all the way down to there. And I'll close parentheses, and when I hit return, it will pop in this value down here, which is a formula that I created for the average of those 30 seconds before it. Now, if I take that, copy it, and go down to the cell below it, and select that cell, and then go down to the very bottom and create a range. Come on. This workout was longer than I thought. Say here. Well, here, just so that everything's got data. Hit paste, Control V, and it pastes in all the values. So these are all 30-second averages. So for instance, if I go down here to the 38th second, you'll notice that the values that are being selected are the 30 seconds that are before it. So, okay. Now, neat thing is that with Excel, now that I've got that column, I could say copy it, go over here to the E column, select that, and then hit Control V to paste it, and it will create that same formula except using this the column before it, the D column values. And I can do the same thing, and wow, okay. So these are the 30-second averages. The C column is now the 30-second averages for the G3 data. The E column is the 30-second averages for the P1 data. The G column are the 30-second averages for the F column. Well, now I can go back to this table that I created, and in selecting the data, I could select the data differently this time. Now I'll for the G3 data, I want to see the smooth data. So remember, that's the C column, not the B column. So I could just easily just select the C column back here, hit enter. Okay. Now for the P1 data, now I'm looking for the E column, not the D column. It's this one. And for the power to max, similarly, I'm going to be looking for the G column now, out here. And when I hit enter, wow, okay, all of a sudden the data looks a lot smoother. So you could tell that everything looks fine except for the G3 power meter here. I tend to use 30-second averages on my power meter during races and in training because it gets rid of a lot of that flutter and pretty much keeps the values within the range that I want them to be in terms of measuring my actual effort. But you could tell that for a couple nerve-wracking seconds here, if I were using the G3 hub, my power would have been showing artificially low.